Hello, everybody. Welcome to ECOCast, podcast where we talk about all things eco-related. I am here today with Dodster and Mr. Wizard. You guys can
Hello.
Introduce
Hello.
yourselves.
I'm Mr. Wizard 70. I run a gaming-related channel, and I'm covering eco very heavily, so I'm here to talk. Yes. I'm sorry, that was terrible. My bad. George, go. You're going to do better than me.
Hello, I also run a YouTube channel. I'm going to be covering eco fairly heavily, as well as like Mr. Wizard's doing essentially. It's called the GG Gamers. If you want to check it out, go ahead. Delve into the depths of the internet. But this is about eco, so let's talk.
If you don't know about eco, or if you've never heard about it, I'd be surprised that you're listening to this podcast. If you are, you're probably wondering, what is eco? Anybody want to explain?
And we'll go over it for people who do know what it is, but we want to define how we see the game, say. Yeah?
Yep. So, Wizard,
Awesome.
How about you tell us, what is eco?
Okay, so eco, basically, the title they gave it is Eco Global Survival Game, right? Which, it boils down to multiplayer Minecraft where the ecosystem works and animals don't just spawn randomly, with a lot more focus on player involvement, on player controls, and players doing things that affect the other player's ability to do other things in the form of laws. And I could keep talking, but I'm probably going on a tangent.
Yeah. Stick to the basics. Basics of eco. If you had to
So
summarize
it's a working ecosystem. So the game is a working ecosystem, and the players can destroy that ecosystem through their actions, which is what makes the game difficult and challenging and all those things that we like in a game.
Yep. So, simply put, eco is a voxel game like Minecraft. So think about Minecraft, but with an economy, the environment, and a player-run government in mind.
So Minecraft with everything you wanted in eco.
What about you, Dodster? Or should I call you the GG Gamers? Which one do you prefer?
George is fine. That's fine.
Okay, George. George, how would you describe eco?
Well, simply put, in my post on Reddit, I kind of described it as sort of a Minecraft MMO survival Godus Terraria all in one sort of thing, because it is taking sort of a load of elements from different games, putting them together in one massive awesome game.
Can you clarify what... Did you say Godus?
Godus, yes.
I've never heard of that. Clarify, please.
It's like it's a game where you basically like play God, and the art style is very similar to that of Eco.
Okay.
He says quickly googling Godus.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hear me typing because I have to hold shift to talk.
But yeah, it is. The art style is very similar. This is kind of what reminded me of it. So.
Okay, cool. So, on to our next point. How does the multiplayer work? So this game is very centralized around multiplayer and community and society. So, with there being other players to interact with, eco has an interesting way of implementing multiplayer. So how does that work exactly? Let's see, what's the best way to answer this question? Wizard, you want to take a crack at it first?
The multiplayer, it's basically Minecraft multiplayer. As far as the multiplayer goes, it functions the same way as, like, as far as mechanics. Like, it's a player, I think it's player-run servers or hosted servers, but it's not like everyone's on the same world. It's not like something like PlanetSide or RuneScape or something where they own several large servers.
Yep. Well,
and then
I'd like to add...
That's true. That's speculation. I assume it'll work that way from the way the staff talk and the way the posts are set up.
John mentioned that Strange Loop Games will have their own servers. So they will have their own dedicated official servers that people can join. And I'm guessing that there will be multiple servers, so you can think of it as multiple worlds that you can join. And then...
So, actually, I have a comparison that'll work great for this. If you look at like the DayZ servers, how there are in fact run by the company. There are quite a few of those. Or the Ark servers, any other major survival game like that. But there are also non-controlled by the company servers.
Yes, which is player-made private servers. So if you want to have your own world with, let's say, your family or a few close friends, and you just don't want to deal with the craziness that is opening a server up to the public, you can have your own private server and invite your friends and family to play, and you can just exist in that little world yourself and not have to worry about, you know, other people coming in and ruining your system that you have going on. So those are the two ways that multiplayer will work, with dedicated servers and private servers. How would the quest system player-run economy actually function, and what conflicts do we foresee? So there is a quest system in Eco, as well as a player-run economy, which means that the players decide what has value, and they decide on the currency that is used to buy goods and services in the game. This is all player-driven, alright? So Strange Loop Games isn't going to provide us with a credit system or dollar system. The players themselves make up whatever they want to be as currency. So let's talk a little bit more about that, on how that will work.
You could decide that sort of like pebbles have value. So you could end up having a server where everyone's mining stone because it's so valuable, or you know, people could use trees as currency because
that would be interesting.
They sort of don't grow back, but it's sort of a really interesting idea that you can play with, certainly as a developer and as a player yourself.
I would expect to see something like the really basic SMP Minecraft servers barter systems goes up real quick after launch, and then as governments become more important, and as, like, for instance, for me, I want to be a bureaucrat. That's like what I want to do in my time as an eco person. I want to be that guy who's like, okay, we need X many logs now, go chop those down, Mr. Lumberman. And I'll like have the stupidest skill set of uselessness ever because
you're a politician.
Yes. However, doing those sorts of things, that'll become much more important as technology advances, sort of like how civilization works. And then you'll end up with, like, we're still using the barter system, but everyone's trading for the things that the government needs from them, almost, which is an interesting thought in my mind. But I think we'll see a lot of, like, I need X, Y, and Z to make quota, so you need to give me X, Y, and Z, and I'll give you W. That'll help you make your quota, and everyone will be happy.
Yeah, full circle.
So almost like socialism or something on a very small scale.
Interesting.
You could also sort of end up with player-run dictatorship. You know, you could get full-blown wars going on between sort of people over
not without
certain...
PvP, you can't.
That's true. That's something we don't know too much about at this stage. So.
But yeah, so dictatorship is a thing. You can have one guy rule the whole world, and dictatorship in the real world isn't nice because we have some examples of that. However, and I don't want to sound like I'll be careful with the stand that I'm making here, but in game you can have one really good ruler that knows how to manage the whole world and treats everyone nice, makes sure everyone is accounted for while technologically advancing society and taking care of the environment. So if one person can get that done, then that's not too bad, right?
Right, yeah. But you can have these really interesting issues. I would say we could see if one person, because I've run Minecraft before, if you get one person who's going, no, we want to do this, you'll get like political parties almost. But the issue is if the one guy, because remember, they said that building a building, if your lumber skill isn't good enough and you build a sawmill, it's not as efficient as the guy with super high lumber skill or whatever, right? That's in the... So then, if the one guy who's been training his whole life to cut down trees is like, you know what? You guys don't agree with me, so you, and runs and leaves the server, the dictator is essentially destroying his own possibility of success. So you could call it a dictatorship and you could have one guy in charge, but everyone has a vote.
But this is under the assumption that there's one woodcutter.
Right.
On a server of 20, you're going to have maybe 2 or 3 woodcutters.
Yeah, that's true.
That one guy that wants to be a jerk and not comply to society, he would just get exiled from the community and no one will trade with him and he's going to have a bad time. So there's that working against it too.
Yeah, that I was more thinking you could just leave the server, go to a different one, play on that. Because you have to remember it is a game.
But you also have to remember that you're investing your time into this. With the level up system, with the class that you decide to be, you're investing your time into this. And if you have a high level woodcutting, let's say, you're not going to be so happy with just leaving with all that time invested into a skill on a particular server. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Risk and the lengths that people are willing to go to get their point across. So what conflicts do we foresee with a player-run economy besides dictatorship being a terrible thing?
I would see some really, really interesting, like, how hard can we red tape this economy in order to get to what we want? Sort of like what's going on with the United States economy right now, or even the United States government, of like loopholes in laws. And like, I want to see, like, I mean, obviously a loophole is going to be a lot harder to find or exploit because the laws are so much more simple.
Yeah,
but
more specific.
I can see like setting up a lot of really harsh restrictions on one thing to make it look like you're trying to do the right thing, and then like grabbing a ton of resources because you want to outcompete someone in the next election. Or like, I can see some really complex politics interfering with the economy and that being interesting. Obviously, I'm a little focused on politics because that's what I want to do. If someone else sees something, please.
I mean, you could end up completely sort of crashing the market as well. I mean, if, like I said earlier, you end up using trees as a currency for some strange reason, you might end up with people running around. That would be hilarious. But you people
if you're really bad.
Well, wait, not so much trees. You mean logs? Because I don't think there's a way that you can exchange this whole trees.
No, but you could sort of trade logs.
You could cut down all the trees in the entire world. Is what.
And then you'd have a monopoly on everyone else because you'd have all the money. So you just pay people to do what you want.
Yeah, the issue would be that they're. It sounds like you use resources at a redunculous rate, and then having used those resources really quickly, I don't think if you cut down all the trees, even like 2 days before the fall of a meteor, you still might not make it, because it sounds like you need a lot of production. From what I heard about PAX and how they didn't make it, that sounds kind of difficult. I'm technically not allowed to talk about anything anyone from PAX told me, so I'll shut up about that. But
all right. Well, a conflict that I was thinking about with the player-run economy is what about currency changes?
Yeah,
so,
that could be.
Let's say we're using, for whatever weird world that, for whatever reason, let's say logs are one currency, and then midway, one guy is rich in logs, and then the whole society decides, this guy has too much money, let's switch the currency to coal, for example. You know, then that would be an interesting
I foresee
thing.
that happening as, sorry if I cut you off there, but
No,
I foresee that happening as the society techs. Like, I mean, maybe at first everyone's going to need logs, but by the end of it, it's literally just going to be the, like, one guy who builds wooden buildings who needs logs, right? And then I foresee multiple repeating currency changes, but again, if you have a bajillion logs at the end of the time when current logs are the currency, I'm sure someone will take your logs off your hands for coal. I mean, items don't lose value because you change the currency.
That's true. You don't just go to having absolutely no money left at all. So you will still have a bajillion logs, as you said, but they just wouldn't be used to trade for other stuff. They would only be traded for logs if people wanted them.
Yep. So what happens if the world goes beyond repair? So, for example, if all the resources are depleted or the apocalypse occurs, what happens then? Do we know what happens?
I would assume it'd be like a server shutdown. I mean,
Game over screen?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, because, I mean, there is a video or a GIF or something, depends on how you say it, anyway, of the meteor falling through the atmosphere, and it's, like, right there, and it's about to end. So I would assume meteors hitting the Earth tends to extinguish all life forms pretty damn quick, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
I'd assume everyone dies.
Yeah, if
And
the
then
meteor
that's
hits
that.
I think it's going to be an instant game over, There is no survival
But
of the meteor.
but all the resources depleted is really interesting, because I have a feeling, does anyone actually know, do we have a statement from the staff that says as you run out of food, you cannot actually move, like it slows your ability to move? Because I know it affects skill development. Again, I can totally see that.
It'll slow you down, but I don't think it will completely immobilize you.
Yeah,
We don't know too much about how that
It depends
system
what
is going to work.
sort of skills they use as well. Because if you've got an athleticism skill or a
that's a good
parkour
point.
skill, then you wouldn't progress as quickly in that. So that might disadvantage your movement slightly, maybe.
Yeah, and if you destroy all the resources that there are, everything is tied together. So the animals are gonna have a hard time. They're gonna die. You're not gonna have as much food. You're not gonna be able to build your technology because you destroyed everything.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. The interesting thing we'll see to how people and groups of people react to realizing they lost. Like, will it just be a thing? Like, how hard is the game becomes the question. Will it be a thing that everyone expects to happen the first couple of times? Is it going to be like Ark or something where you get to the final level and it's like, holy man, you poured way too much time into this game? Or is it a unexpected thing? Is it expected that you'll win? And then if people do end up losing a lot, how will players react to that? Will players not like it? Will it become a problem for the game? That's an interesting thought. Sorry if I'm going off on a tangent, but
no, that's fine. Definitely interesting thoughts.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's definitely sort of related. I mean, there's a quote here from John basically talking about a playtest they did in his school with two different classes with the same teacher, and in terms of difficulty, on the first day, that they basically chopped every tree down. So that in terms of sustainability, that side of it looks much more difficult than, say, the skills and the society might be. I mean, we haven't really seen much in terms of society. That would be something we need to try ourselves, maybe get through from the updates as well.
I'll read out that quote because I think it's hilarious. So this was via John in the Reddit. This was an old Reddit post that he replied to a question that was made. And he said, "So we did a play test in a school, 2 periods in a classroom with the same teacher, different groups of students. Almost on the first day, nearly every tree was chopped down. Then we saw some laws being discussed limiting logging. A bit late, they were almost extinct. Then things got ugly. Players in the first period started chopping down the houses of the second period, raiding them for wood. Society fell apart pretty quickly and they turned on each other immediately." So that's pretty hilarious.
But an interesting thing to take out of that is that if you get 2 groups of friends who teamed up to pay for a server who don't necessarily like each other, you're going to have conflict really quick. This game sounds stressful, right? So to get things to like make it work, you're going to need to be really damn close, like keeping on. Everyone's going to need to be on board for whatever you do, because if you get splits in the players, God, is that going to go down quick.
That is for sure. You can see factions opening up, different government systems from one world.
Yeah, the thing that I'm concerned about with that is it sounds like laws apply to everyone in the universe, and that's just how that works, which is concerning to me, obviously, because,
Yeah,
that prevents a lot of conflict. Yeah, each server has its own laws, it sounds like. Looking at the criminal justice system update thing,
yep.
I'm looking at this and it says, with this update, players will be allowed to break laws. So we already knew that players physically could not break the laws up until then, right?
Yep.
It's physically impossible. So the question is, will you get people who are trying to disagree with other people who physically can't, right? And because I mean, knowing human ingenuity, someone will find a way around the fact that this not that they can't kill anymore, but they'll find a way around we're gonna cut down your house for wood if you stop letting us log or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But it gets that's almost talking open warfare. So the question is there some level of we're going to make our own government that controls X much land? Because there is the land ownership thing. I don't know if that's going to work without buildings, because it sounds like currently it's only you can own land that you built on. But, that's sort of, I don't know. That concerns me in that I don't know if we're going to be able to really disagree with each other effectively.
I think that sort of structure of society would come in sort of a lot later. You can't just put rules into a society that's not built. You need to sort of grow that society, grow the rules as sort of it does in real civilization. You can't say, oh, I own this plot of land now. You have to sort of create a community
that's very
and
true.
work around it.
The existing system seems like it's going to limit people. That's what I'm worried about. Thoughts?
What do you mean, limit in terms of expansion or in
limit
terms of
player
progression?
conflict, which is what I'm really excited for about this game. People arguing with other people is going to be really hard, because once the law is passed, the law is the law. You can't change it until the next time a vote comes up.
Well, we don't know the frequency of laws and law changing.
That's a great point.
And as for PvP, we don't know a huge amount of that either, so...
Yeah, that's sort of a segue into our next point. We should probably keep moving.
How will PvP actually work, and what is the penalty for death?
So, they said the death penalty, and then they said banning, but then they took it back and said that's not how it works. And that's all I really know about death right now. I don't know if it's going to be a skill reset or a skill drop or what.
Yeah, it could be if you get the death penalty and you die in the server, you might just be kicked out and unable to join that server again.
Yeah, that's very true. But, what happens when you're killed by a wolf? Because I assume wolves will kill you if they get hungry enough.
Let's see. John said, in Eco, there are no monsters. It is humanity itself that is its own enemy. So,
but wolves will attack humans if they get hungry enough, just to be accurate to the ecosystem. That's an interesting question. I didn't even think of that.
That's true. So,
I mean, that could reflect on you. Say you kill all the elk in an area, and there's also wolves in the area. That's when you sort of disrupt the ecosystem and maybe make the wolves attack you rather than the elk.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that, and it would be even more scary, practically, to have the wolves not attack you and instead eat the hares and the birds
eat your food
and everything else, and then there's literally nothing left alive, and then the ecosystem really goes away.
So we're not completely sure about how this system is going to work, and if we'll be defending ourselves, if we'll have weapons to shield ourselves, protect ourselves from wolves or any other predators out there. We don't know how that's going to work. So that's just speculation. I can't wait to find out too, because that's just a whole nother layer.
Yeah. I assume that'll be coming fairly soon, with the end of the Kickstarter coming in sort of 50 hours from now, from when we're recording this anyway, so...
Yep, 54 hours to go, and we are at 171,000.
Which is
Wow,
just
71.
crazy.
It's been less than an hour since it was 70.
Yeah, so it's got $1,000.
That's insane. That's getting a lot of cash.
I mean, if you don't sort of know the popularity of this game, I mean, they set a goal of $100,000, and they're way over that already, almost doubled it. So that's sort of the popularity you can expect with this game.
Oh yeah, and also the concept is interesting. The fan base, is really strong so far. Very small, but very strong, and it's just gonna keep growing. It's gonna keep getting better. We'll go into our next point. What do you guys think about the art style, both in game and out? We mentioned that.
Yeah, I think
really. Oh, go George.
Sorry. I think I mentioned this earlier actually. The Godus style, from the sort of the concept shots, which is really cool. I think it's very simple, but it's quite effective in the way it sort of comes across.
Yeah, I've been noticing their art for what their concept art looks like and stuff has been drawings and almost blueprint style, and I really like that, and I think it's real interesting. And I want to applaud their artist, whoever came up with that. But at the same time, I'm wondering the art style evokes Minecraft, but I personally don't like what we've seen of in-game shots.
What do you mean?
It looks like they took Minecraft and they rounded the edges, and it doesn't look like they're going for almost a natural look, but it doesn't look natural at all.
It's still voxel-like, but
yeah,
like you said,
that's very true.
You could just have a Minecraft bias, though.
Oh no, I totally do. That's I never.
I'm
liked
sure
Minecraft
a lot of us
style.
we all have a Minecraft bias. I'm sure a lot of us have played Minecraft. We love that blocky shape, and this is
that's very
similar.
True. They were going to evoke that sort of
it's
images,
similar,
so that's
but
true.
it has its own style. And
that's very true.
I'm sure. I agree with you to a certain point. I agree it is a bit strange, but that's just because it's different, and I'm open to the fact that it's different. And
that's a good point.
And with time and playing in game, I'm sure it'll just become part of Eco universe, and I'll get used to it, and I'll love it even more. But as far as right now, the outside of the game art is awesome. The art is fantastic, and the in-game art is pretty cool.
I mean, you have to also remember
I can
that
see that.
It's pre-alpha stuff they're showing us at the moment. Or I don't know whether it is alpha or
pre-alpha.
It's pre-alpha stuff. So throughout the
That's
alpha, the
true.
beta,
Graphics
leading
could
into
improve.
April next year, it's going to improve, I think.
Yeah, hopefully it will improve. Yeah. It could improve. We'll have to wait and see. A few hours ago, Destroyer of Worlds tier came out. So what this is...
Oh, God.
This is update 15. Destroyer of Worlds tier announced. Nuclear destruction with 2 days left of the Kickstarter. So basically, I'll just read from the update. Throughout the campaign, backers have asked, what about the trolls, as any online game is sure to attract them? The answer is that in Eco, they will serve a gameplay purpose. They are the villains of the game, the source of conflict that players supporting society must collaborate against, using government, laws, and the criminal justice system. This tier gives those working against society additional tremendous power and a new world threat that players must plan for. So basically, if you buy this tier, you would be able to craft a doomsday device.
A nuke.
Yeah.
Basically nuke the world at a certain
And this
level.
frustrates the hell out of me, because when I saw the first thing it's written on the basic Kickstarter page, I think the enemy of the world of the players is the world itself, not the players, right? And this is almost what I asked for, but then there's that $750 price tag, which is
that is the entry level. That is the entry level of this.
I mean, it's an awful lot of money to be spending on sort of a doomsday device, really. I mean, it's...
Yeah, it doesn't... I don't see it... I mean, it just looks like they're begging for money, and
I wouldn't say
it
begging
looks
for money.
bad. Yeah, that's true. I
This is,
dislike pay to
this is
win because
the-
I play free-to-play games far too much.
This is the end of campaign. Let's boost it up some more. You know, that's the
That's true.
strategy. You know, you can't blame them. As of now, there are 4 backers. So there are 4 people out there with this technology.
Who can just log onto a server and destroy the world like snap?
The server needs to have nuclear
true.
technology. So it has to be an advanced server. And they stated that there will be countermeasures to this, so it's not a guaranteed destruction.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but it's still yeah.
I mean, most players, I imagine, will make sort of a law that's prevents this sort of thing from happening.
Yeah, no. Watch the criminal justice system not get funded, and all these people who paid their money just be like, well, you know, there's a law that says we can't, so.
That would be interesting.
Oh
Okay.
dear, that'd be funny.
So,
that'd be interesting to see how they work that one in.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so closing thoughts about episode 1 of this podcast.
I'm excited as hell.
I am also incredibly excited.
Let's see, some fun facts. There's some fun facts I have to close up the episode.
All right, someone's prepared.
Yeah, so Eco was launched on August the 7th. Is that accurate? That better be
Correct.
accurate.
It is
That's
the
correct.
7th today, and they have another 2.5 days left.
Yep, so August the 7th, it was launched. It is now, as I say this, 171,308. That is the pledge as of right now.
Damn.
It's pretty
Going up
pretty
like that.
impressive.
I mean,
Okay.
we made this sort of
Mhm.
notes today, and I put the quote is now at 167k. So
yeah.
you
we're
can see
we're
sort of
rushing it.
the growth
Oh,
that
yeah.
this game's had.
This
And,
is like less than 4 hours since that was
yeah,
released,
it's
so
getting
that's
crazy.
insane.
And one last fun fact that I thought was interesting. This has to do with the real world. There are an estimated 3 trillion trees on Earth. 3 trillion trees.
Crazy,
on
right?
Earth. Crazy, right?
All right,
I
well-
thought that was pretty crazy. That's a lot of trees, man. So that's been episode 1. Thank you guys for joining me with this podcast, and look forward to more podcasts in the future.
Comments about Eco, anything you want to talk about, please, we want to talk to you.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
We'll answer questions.
Look for more guests in the future. So if you're interested, links will be in the description. Different
Eco
subjects we
Nation,
touched.
Eco Reddit, go.
Yeah, Eco Nation, Eco Reddit, relevant discussions, all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Over and out.